How's it going, YouTube? It's your boy Ron, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pikmin 2. In the last episode, we did a continued more exploration of the Dream Den. We are nearly wrapping up. This is going to be the penultimate episode, guys. And it's somewhat going to be a bit more challenging. There are a lot more hazards this time around, and I'm bringing the wrong type of Pikmin for this battle, for this encounter. I do want to be careful. There are going to be a lot of varieties of enemies that we're going to be seeing in this sub-level. No, what are you doing? Okay. So one way to effectively clear this level, because there are a lot of enemies that are very sensitive to, I guess, kind of like movement and kind of the placement of where you and your Pikmin are, you do kind of have to be careful in how you kind of traverse this area. The one exception is going to be the blowhogs because of the fact that they are pretty much above ground and okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of them. These are probably going to be one of the more easier guys to take care of. Pretty much everyone here is easy to get rid of, and it's not going to be that big of a challenge. It's just that you still got to be careful in how you approach things. I probably should have taken care of that, but whatever. You can have it. Oh, okay, yeah. And then there's a group of freaking dwarf bull bears, and then the cloaking burrow knit not too far. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab this. Since he took one of the treasures, I don't know if you guys were able to catch that off camera, but he did. I'm gonna go ahead and let them take that so that way I can just get rid of him pretty easily. Get rid of this gas pipe because I do need to go that way. There's a lot of enemies to take care of over there. There's like one at every turn. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this. This is the only bread bug here. And it's the first time we're seeing a bread bug in quite a while, honestly. Really? Y'all couldn't. There we go. That takes care of him, and that should get rid of the treasure that he took a little bit earlier. There we go. I'm gonna make my way around. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that cloaking burrow knit. And I'm probably gonna have to be careful in taking each one of them consecutively, just because of how hard it's gonna be with cloaking burrow and it's being able to see pretty easily when you're not too far behind from them, and the fact that there's also the bull bear is not too far away either. And of course he'll probably see that. Still missed, but still took advantage of it. Alright, he's gonna appear, turn around, and then... Alright, so this was Oh, I just realized I'm not even throwing it at the crosshair. I was literally throwing it right in front of him. Okay, that was a pretty sad moment. I wasn't even realizing that. Okay. I don't like how both of them are facing me. Alright. I hate the blowhogs. One thing that it really took me a long time to realize, and I'm gonna sound a little sad saying this because of the fact that I should have realized this a lot sooner, but if you remember back, no, you were not eating my Pikmin. Back at the Hole of Heroes, was it the Hole? I think it was the Hole of Heroes. It was either the Hole of Heroes or the Cavern of Chaos. I can't remember which one it was exactly. That's the part that's gonna hurt me a little bit, that I can't remember that part. But if you remember back at one of those caves, we did see that there was puffy blowhogs, withering blowhogs, fiery and watery blowhogs. I actually didn't realize that floor. I think it was the Hole of Heroes. And what I didn't realize is that was the purpose of that sub-level. It was supposed to be a whole blowhog themed sub-level. And I never noticed that distinction. I never realized that until I actually paid attention to the names. Because yes, I realized that so late. And I just didn't put two and two together. I knew that the blowhog family was related, like the withering and puffy one, but I didn't realize the fiery and watery blowhog were also related in that family too. Like, if you guys had known that, you're smarter than I am, because one, you already knew the obvious, and two, it's pretty easy to distinguish both of those families apart. But of course, I didn't make that connection at all, and I just looked very, 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 very sad looking at it. But okay, enough of that. One thing I probably haven't mentioned yet that I probably should have in the beginning, I think I knocked out everyone. I think there's just one more section, right? I think it's all the way, wait. Is that really it? There's nothing else? I feel like there's a section that I'm missing, because it's not here. Is there a section that I'm missing that I'm just not paying attention to? Oh no, there isn't, okay. So one thing about this sub-level is that the layout, there are two different types of layouts, and this is the one that we're in right now, is one that doesn't have the ledge that normally contains this treasure right here. I actually did not pay any attention to that. I didn't even realize that as soon as I was starting to go back and collect everything. There normally is another layout to this that we kind of somewhat luckily didn't get, just because you would have needed yellow that's required to get this one, so thankfully we didn't. But 100 Pokos for the Yellow Taste Tyrant of French's cap, which I guess is for mustard? Frank's mustard? I always thought it came in bottles, not in a, like that kind of cap, that kind of cap. Kind of indicates that it would be like a jar more than like a bottle. But hey, what do I know? I don't even like mustard. For those out there who would somewhat might want to know, I don't like mustard. I can't eat it. I can't tolerate the taste of it. It's not something I like at all. It's just... It's also one of my many allergies, but that's beside the point. That's probably the reason why. But we're gonna go ahead and collect everything. One thing I probably should have mentioned in the beginning of my intro about how today's episode is gonna go, I already did mention it's the penultimate one, so that's obviously pretty self-explanatory, because we are gonna start wrapping things up here. We have 2 more sub-levels after this one, which should take us to 13, which should lead up to 14, the last one. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I feel like I know what this is, but I don't remember, and I can't read Japanese or Chinese if it's supposed to be Chinese as well. Oh, however you're supposed to read it. Boss Stone, 110 Pokos. I don't know what that is. I honestly do not know. The next 2 sub-levels after this one aren't going to be as challenging. They still will provide something for us, but honestly, the sub-levels before these were a bit more tough. Although, it's interesting to say a lot about the Dream Den, and kind of like the Hole of Heroes. The Cavern of Chaos is different. I do consider that to be not anywhere near like what should be like a final sub-level, like final cave to explore. But I always found the kind of difference between Hole of Heroes and Dream Den would be, because for those out there who probably didn't know, if when you played the Hole of Heroes, you obviously go through so many bosses that you've already fought throughout your journey. So it makes sense that it's considered like a boss rush room, like cave. So it makes sense why they wouldn't make that the last 4, because obviously since you're already encountering so many bosses. Oh yes, some Dream Den music. Oh, of course there's this right here. I mean, not Dream Den music, shower room music. I love this one. I can see why they wouldn't make that the last floor, because you don't want to have like the final boss be introduced with other bosses. That kind of takes away a lot of the momentum, or I guess a lot of the praise from it. I don't know the right word to use, honestly. There's nothing over here. Okay, so we're really just in a shower room theme. Got a lot of orange Bulborbs and Wallywogs, and the Wallywog being in front of that gate is really gonna annoy me, because he's gonna get in the way. I already know he's gonna get in the way. This is gonna be very tough, because he can see that far, and you see, he can already notice there's some presence of me right here. So I already guarantee it. See, I told you. Alright, maybe it can... Wait. Oh, and falling rocks too. That's great. See me right here. See me right here. Alright, so hopefully you should get distracted while I do this. Alright. Let's see how this works out. Don't get stuck behind the Don't get stuck behind the gate. There have been many times where something like that has nearly happened before. Oh wait, no, that was a bad throw. That was a bad throw. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was talking about. A bad throw. He just glitched onto there, but okay. Dream Den is really starting to suck. There are still 2 more sub-levels, but of course I had to get a reset right here. Oh man, the amount of times I had to reset this journey so far, it's becoming very sad. If this was a no death run, I would have already failed it hundreds of times. And if I didn't reset any single time I lost my Pikmin, we would already have like 60 deaths. I never kept count, but we would have had a lot. But in the interest of time, I'll be back with you guys in just a moment as I go ahead and give myself another clean slate. I'll be back in just a moment, guys. Alright guys, I am now back again after that minor reset. The layout here seems a bit more generous. I will say a lot of the enemies are over there instead of, there's like nothing over to this side. I can only think that there are probably gonna be some bomb rocks, but over here, there's all the enemies galore over here. How are you able to go that far? No, you are staying right there after what you've done. Stupid Wallywog. I hate you guys. Like, I love I basically love every enemy in Pikmin 2. They all have something unique, or there is some variation to a lot of them. But Wollywogs, I hate them so much. Like, I don't think they're broken, but I mean, you guys want to know how many times I said these enemies are broken, but like, Wollywogs are just so annoying to deal with. Like yellow Wollywogs, although they're not that different, I find them a lot easier to take advantage of. Alright. Of course he woke up. Okay, so he's probably gonna go back to sleep as... Yeah, okay. I gotta find a way to distract that Wollywog, though. Alright. Well, not necessarily distract, but at least make his attention focus on me. Come on, see me. I know you can see me. Alright, there we go. That should do it. Alright, and then we can go ahead and take care of this Bolt Orb. That should be easy. Alright, also he has the treasure. And Falling Rocks. Just make sure you're careful with those too. The Nintendo Beetle has some interesting defensive dynamics to it. Like, you wouldn't suspect how weird and inconsistent it is to attack him. He doesn't really make an appearance that much, so it's kind of like you really don't, you're never really gonna always face him, but the fact that his defense mechanisms are a bit interesting, like, you just saw there, like, how we were able to attack him, but he didn't really lose any health to it, so it's very interesting to see how he actually has, like, a defensive barrier against him. It's just very interesting. Is there nothing over here? No, okay. We barely have that much more treasure left to get, so there really isn't much that we can do or find. I just want to make sure I'm grabbing everything. This should be the last treasure. And I mean, this should be the only treasure in this floor, actually. I just want to make sure I'm not triggering any falling rocks, because I don't want to lose Pikmin anymore. I was kind of hoping the reset wouldn't happen this episode, but my purple did not listen and had to fall and walk slowly under the Wollywog to get crushed, and I just hate Wollywogs so much. They are just a bane in my existence in Pikmin 2. Like, the yellow Wollywog, while it is more defensive, I find it easier to take out just because of the fact that it doesn't have like that great like sense of like vision that the white one does. The stringent container, which is just a container of baking powder. Clobber Girl baking powder. 130 Pokos. Oh, there is still one more treasure. It's probably somewhere out there. Okay, I honestly thought there was only one. There's probably gonna be some falling rocks somewhere over here, so gotta be careful with that. Yeah, like right there. Alright. Like, as I was saying about the Wollywog, like the yellow one, it's super defensive. Well, okay, it's more defensive than the white one. But the fact that its vision isn't as great as the white one, it's easier to take out because of that. Like, you have a better chance of sneaking up on it. That's what makes it, like, it kind of, that trade-off is a bit easier to take in. Because you don't have to worry about, you know, oh, it can see me from, like, what is it, like, maybe 15 tiles away. So, you know, it's, like, kind of broken kind of thing. But the fact that the white one can see super far, even though it is weaker, it just makes it so much more harder. Like, and that's what I hate about the Wollywog. Like, it's super annoying to go against because of that reason. Alright, tell me nothing's gonna fall from here. Okay, and I don't think there should be any more falling rocks along the way. We just came from that side, so we should be okay. But I do gotta make sure I take out this poison gate just so that way I can get ready to leave. Then we will be heading on to the final sub-level before the boss, which will wrap things up here and wrap things up for the game. If you can go ahead and get to it in time. So what I will say is, this is what the game considers, or what the game would consider you to go as the final sub-level the final cave to enter. The Universal Calm. The Blue Ring, 100 Pokos. So you would think, because it's the penultimate level before the final sub-level that is the final boss of the game, the true final boss of the game, you would think it's a hard sub-level. And it's really not. But of course, you know, how many times I always open my mouth beforehand and then we end up losing Pikmin, so that could happen. But it's not a hard sub-level. It's because of the layout and how the enemies are spread is what makes it difficult and can be a pain in the ass if it isn't a good layout for you. It's really just dependent on the layout like many other caves. But this isn't exactly like a hard level to really show like this game is difficult. But as you can see how small this sub-level is and what enemies we're gonna see, that's what makes it a little bit difficult but easier to manage. But this is also what I was talking about. Like, the layout is actually pretty generous. Like, It's only 5 Bulborbs, 2 orange, 2 reds, and a snowy Bulborb. I think that's about it. There shouldn't be anything else, and it's really not that bad to take advantage of. Make sure you prep nicely and easily. Alright, and I'm guessing this one was the only one that had the treasure. Like this is not a problem. Like these guys don't wake up. Their defenses are pretty bad. Like losing. Okay. Yes, just one. Like this, like I'm not saying this is easy, but this sub-level is kind of a joke because the fact that, I mean, yes, the room is small, but they only put 5 Bulborbs to where it's really not that bad. It's really not something you should get really scared of like going up against because it's really easy to take advantage of. Like maybe if they put like, oh, that was an egg. I got really scared and thought that was like a falling rock. Like maybe if they put like 2 more, or they made like the room, like 1 room smaller, then maybe it's a bit more difficult because you gotta really be careful on how you like maneuver and walk and take your Pikmin out. But this honestly, like, like the ones with the water level, the maze, both mazes actually, those are better final sub levels in my opinion than this. This is just too easy. Like I don't know if this is what the creators thought like was a good idea to make us the final sub level. I don't know if their idea was to make it easier or if it was just to make it, you know, seem like it's a challenge. But this is honestly a pretty easy sub level. Like this is not something I would rank that difficult out of all the floors we've already done. The hypnotic platter and A&W bottle cap, caffeine-free, 100 Pocos. Alright, but that is everything in this sub-level. Pretty easy. This only took like what, 2 minutes? Like this is honestly like one of the fastest caves that isn't a rest level that we took advantage of. Like, I don't know, they thought it was an easy cave. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be, I don't know. But it's honestly not that hard. Just make sure you have your purples and they can pretty much steam the room pretty easily. But other than that, guys, we are done here. We have 1 more sub-level to go, and it is the final floor. It is the game's, what is the game's considered the final sub-level you will see, and it will have the boss fight. One thing I will go ahead and wrap things up here as I explain what we're going to be heading into the final episode, guys, is I haven't really touched up on what happened to Louis after we beat the game the first time around. So, of course, the president's with us, and Louis was pretty much deserted. We saw him in the cutscenes in the ending credits that he was just exploring the planet, but we never really got any more detail as to what actually happened. He is actually over here. As you recall, the ship, the pod, actually gave us information as to seeing some life forms and how, you know, bad and very dangerous this floor is to kind of indicate that the Dream Den is supposed to be like the last and most dangerous cave to explore. We are actually going to be seeing something that will kind of give us a better elaboration of what happened to Louis and what the after ending or what the second part of the story is really all about. But we'll understand and explore a lot that and more in the next and final episode, guys. So what I want to say is thank you so much for watching today's video. Do hope you enjoyed. Minor recap, we did the last 3 floors leading up to the final one of Dream Den. We are nearly done. 1 more is left. 1 true and final battle holds us from completing 100% of the game. In terms of the perfect score, we're getting every treasure. In terms of not losing Pikmin, well, we lost so many resets and a lot behind the scenes that I can't even count. It's more than 50. It's a sad amount. Many of them were very sad. Many of them were unlucky. But, you know, that's just how the game goes. This game, if you can get it through a no-death run without resetting, you're great at this game. If you happen to reset once, you're just like everyone else in this game. You tried. I tried, certainly, but I'm just not that good at this game enough to really do that. But we'll go ahead and leave this at here, and we'll go ahead and explore the last cave in the final episode and see what we have in store for us in the final fight, understand what happened to Louis, what's going on, and what that means for our adventure. Come back one last time. Dream Den and Pikmin 2. So guys, this has been your this has been your boy Ron, and until next time, I'll see you in the final episode for Dream Den and see what we have for us. See you guys then. Take care.